hello, beautiful people. How are you doing? Please say hi in the comment section and let me know where you are joining me from. Hi, everyone. My name is Flora Basie. I am a digital accessibility expert and founder at Linoratech. Linoratech is an incredible company with the value and mission to just help leaders and professionals easily create inclusive and accessible digital product or digital experiences. I like to self describe because oftentimes in my audience there are people with low vision, people with visual impairments, or people who are blind. So I am a black woman, I'm always smiling. I'm currently rocking some locks that are twisted. They're brown and black. I'm wearing a yellow blouse that has black lines all over. And that's about me. Please don't feel shy and say hi in the comment section. If you're hearing something that resonates with you, again, just give me a thumbs up, a heart. I will take everything. Today, I have an incredible person with me. But before that, let me just tell you what we're going to be talking about. It's all, well, it is going to be about money for sure, but more so about investing in or investing with disability. You know, the guest speaker I have today, oh my goodness, I can't wait to bring her on board. Should I tell you more about her right now, or should I just invite her? You know what? I'm just going to invite her here so we can start the talk because she's going to tell you how she built a multi-million dollar company because she met one person with a disability who changed her own journey. You know what? Let me bring her in. Hi, Dr. Sonja.
Hi, Flora. Thank you for having me here.
Oh my goodness, I am super excited that you're here with us. I mean, gosh, I see a few comments. Let me check them and then I will ask you a little bit more about who you are and we'll start the conversation. So I see Eric. Hi, Eric. He said, hello for Evergreen, Colorado. Looking forward to learning today. I see also Karuna. Karuna is here. Hi, Karuna. Hello. Happy Friday. I'm so happy you're here, Karuna. I see Reyes. Hi, Reyes. He said, hello, Flora. Yes. Oh, my goodness. I am super excited. But before that, Dr. Sonia, I want people to get to know who you are. So can you briefly tell me who you are and what you do?
Well, I'm Dr. Sonja Phillips Biggs, and I own Sonja Biggs Educational Services Incorporated. And we put teachers of the blind and visually impaired, orientation mobility specialists, interveners who work one-on-one with deaf-blind students, and VI paraprofessionals into the school districts. We contract with the school districts and we put those teachers in so that students can be served who have blindness or low vision. And we also do material production for Braille, large print, and for children who have cerebral visual impairment.
Oh my goodness. I love what you provide as a service in just creating inclusion and a great opportunity for everyone to learn more. You know, Dr. Sonia, when we were talking before, you told me one thing. You said, I've never met a person with a disability, and that was a long time ago. Then you met one person. The first person you met literally just changed the trajectory of your own life and the impact that you have today. Can you tell me more about this?
Person?
Yes, this
Yes.
person
So,
and your story.
so this person was my own baby. So my son, Brandon Biggs, was the first person I ever met who had a disability and blindness in particular. And he did change the trajectory of my life. So I was a regular ed elementary school teacher. And when he was born, I found out that he was blind. And I ended up becoming a teacher of the blind and visually impaired and orientation mobility specialist myself, just to be sure he had all the tools that were necessary for him to be successful in life. And for the first few years, for the first part of his life until adulthood, I was teaching him and I was making sure he had all the skills he needed to be successful. And the next part of his life, he changed my life. He's always been the wind beneath my wings, but he pushes me outside of my box. He's always pushing me and making me go further and further and further, and until we co-founded our business together.
Wow, this is incredible. And I want people to hear that. So basically, you didn't know anything about disability until you had Brendan, who is a son and who is blind. And from there on, you started teaching him. I would probably say, because I had a chance to speak with many incredible people with disabilities. And one thing that was mentioned that is limiting people with disability is to have an inclusive education. And you said you started teaching him so he can get opportunities. Does that mean that there is no opportunities out there that are more inclusive? I'm talking about getting an education, because I think that this has come so many times. Do you think that the educational system right now is inclusive? Is it providing opportunities to students? I know in your case you had to take matter on your own hand to support your kid, but when you were looking at that time, were those options provided to you?
Uh, Brandon, we had a hard time finding teachers for him. That's why I became a teacher.
Yeah.
And right now, there's always been a shortage of teachers of the blind and visually impaired and orientation mobility specialists. Every place is saying, we need teachers, and that's why Brendan and I started our business. I started private contracting, and there were so many people saying, we want you to work for us, that I was overwhelmed, and he says, Mom, you need to start your own corporation, and then that way you can hire other people to help you, and more kids can be served. And so that's exactly what we did. And he's the one that knew how to do it. He's the one that taught me, he's the one that got me the attorney, that got me in touch with an organization called SCORE. And then they mentored me through how to be successful in business. And yeah, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I am today. And he was my CFO for several years in the beginning. We've been in operation for 10 years now. And he was my CFO for 8 of those years. And he's the treasurer on the board of directors. So he has been so instrumental in the success of our business. And because of his blindness, he's able to problem solve and be able to come up with creative ideas for being inclusive. And he developed our service log system, which is totally inclusive, and we have people in our company who are deaf blind. We have people in our company who are blind. We have people in our company who have other disabilities, and for us to have a company within itself that is inclusive has been amazing. And then to be able to reach out and touch more lives in the school districts and share with those students how to be successful in their lives, it's just been an amazing journey.
Oh, I love it. I love it. One thing that I want people also to take away from what you just shared, Sonja, is that you took a chance to learn, you know? And I'm pretty sure at some point it could have been frustrated, right? It could have
There's been
been,
lots of frustrating moments and lots of tears, but
there have been probably failures as well, challenges, push back, because I see a lot of incredible leaders and professionals who want to embrace inclusion. They want to embrace accessibility, but they have a fear that they might not be enough, or they might not know enough, or they might not be maybe the right person to start even the initiative, or just because fear of failures, pushback, challenges. Some of them I'm like, oh, hold on, maybe we should not start that. Maybe we should. But can you share just a little bit of some of the challenges that you probably went through, but you,
Yes.
oh, yes,
Brandon was my CFO, which means he handled all the money, right? The account part of it. And so we needed an accessible accounting system. There weren't any available. So Brandon went into it and said, "Can you make QuickBooks Online accessible to me?" And so he became their star in accessibility to make QuickBooks Online accessible to people who are blind. And, so from him being in my company and we coming up with challenges, he was able to make a positive difference in the lives of other companies that now more people who are blind can access QuickBooks Online.
yes,
And that's because of Brandon. So, yeah, him having a disability has not been anything to hold back. It's been actually a big plus, in the success of my company, and in turn the success of other companies in accessibility.
I love that. I love that, because I think that taking a chance and investing with or in disability, it's such an important thing. As you said, he's been able to hold and manage your books. Brendan is blind, but blindness is not what defines his abilities, his skills, and the opportunities he can bring to an organization or a business. So really, let's acknowledge that part, because sometimes there is a disbelief that people with disabilities cannot do much. But actually, what you're sharing with me, Sonia, it's actually the reverse. Brendan did open up great opportunities, and also along the way help, you know, enhance and empower your business. One thing that I'm also curious about, Sonia, is when we talk about, giving opportunities to those with disabilities, because again, there is a lot of talk around DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion, and also, hiring or bringing more people with disabilities on the table or within company. Right now we're talking about employment with disability, so this is a good topic. But where does inclusion really start? Where are we starting to give opportunities to those with disabilities?
When they're babies, when they're born, you start immediately, by including them. When Brandon was little, I taught him entrepreneurship. Okay. I built it into him from the time he was little. So now he has his own business. He helped me start mine, but the first job that he had was when he was 5 years old, and he raised baby hamsters and sold them back to pet stores. Okay. That was his first job. His second one was making beaded keychains and selling them at farmers markets and flea markets. And he discovered that people wanted to learn how to make the keychains themselves rather than buy ones already made. So he put together kits. And then he taught classes on how to make beaded keychains, and he sold tons of those kits at the farmers market.
This is crazy. It means that he already had an entrepreneurship, mindset, and I love that, because sometimes I feel that the system that we have here, processes in places oftentimes are not flexible even for, those with disabilities. Like in your case with Brendan is blind, but some people have a chronic pain disability which comes and go, and sometimes they have to pause because they can't move forward. Some people have mobility disability, cognitive disability, and sometimes the system does not really flex enough to accommodate these people. But one thing that you also share, oh, sorry, I think I see a few comments. So please feel free to share your comments. If you have any question for Sonja, she is here to share everything. So it's a great time to ask questions as well. See, Subash said, such an amazing journey you had. Talking to you, Sonia. Happy to see your inspiring journey since. Let's see. I think it's cut off. Inspiring to see your journey. Okay, great. Thank you for sharing, Subash. Again, if you have any question, if you're hearing something that resonates with you, just let us know. If you want to ask anything or you just want to comment, feel free as well. We can see everything live. Sonia, yes, go ahead.
Flora, I just wanted to say that when I was raising Brandon, his dad and I never told him no, never limited him on what he wanted to do because of his vision. And we always said, okay, let's find a way to do it, because we had the belief that there's a mountain in front of us. Yeah. Many people just go over the mountain, Yeah. But for a person who's blind, they have to find a different route, but they still end up in the same place. And so that's what we taught Brandon. There's always a way, and we just have to find it. We have to have the right tools, and we have to have the right mindset. Yes. And then we can do it.
I love it.
So that's how we raised him.
I love it. One thing also that we've discussed about was around the fact that education is such an important thing, and you talk and you share something about mobility. No, how do you call it? There were two things that you
orientation and mobility.
Yes, where you teach them about space, direction, yes, and things like that. Can you tell us more about this? Because I think oftentimes, again, there is a disbelief that people who are blind cannot orient themselves. So if an organization was to hire them, they're probably just going to get lost all the time. They might not be able to recognize certain rooms. They might not be able to even recognize the work that they're doing, which I believe is myth at this point in time, because a person who's blind can take the right course to know exactly how to navigate this world, even with blindness.
Oh, that's what orientation and mobility specialists do, is train people who are blind and visually impaired how to move independently, how to be independent. And, Brandon had a lot of that training when he was young, and it pays off because he's a world traveler now. He travels all over the place. He's not even going to get to come home for Thanksgiving because he's got too many speaking engagements all around the United States. I'm like, oh my gosh. Anyway, so yeah, you can be totally independent using a cane or a dog guide, whatever you choose to use, for your mobility.
Definitely. And I love that. Some of the people that I had the privilege to work with also are people who are mature, or people who are over the 40 or maybe 35. And some of them may also lose their sight at some point in time. So whenever we're talking about creating an inclusive, experience for everyone, it's not just for people who were born with a disability. We're talking about also helping people who might lose some abilities later on in life, and this discussion that we're having here is really to give you the opportunity to understand that there are options, there are opportunities, there are solutions. Sonia, I like when you said, if you were climbing up the mountain all the time, guess what? There is other ways that you can also get on the other side. So guys, if you are really pushing for initiatives around accessibility, try to think outside the box. It might be a little bit uncomfortable at the beginning, but just try a little bit. Sonia, another question that I want to ask you is really the return on investment in accessibility. You said it. Brendan was the first person with a disability you had a chance to meet first. He was blind. You invested time, education, and even your career kind of swing toward his, helping him.
Yes.
And now you created a business catering and helping and empowering people with disability. Can you tell me what do you think is the return on investment? Was it worth, you know, investing in that journey?
Absolutely. I mean, I wouldn't have my business today if it wasn't for Brandon. And, the skill set that he brings to my company is amazing. I mean, yes, I'm the one who owns the business. Brandon was my co-founder, but everyone in my company goes to Brandon with their questions on how to run the company because he's so much more knowledgeable about how to run a company. And not only that, now he's designed this tool called Audium that makes digital maps accessible to people who are blind and visually impaired, and that's never been done before. And he has his own company called XR Navigation. I mean, this guy's a powerhouse. He just won a pitch competition of $26,000 for his university. His university, he represented his university at that pitch competition. He's getting his PhD at Georgia Tech, and he won the competition.
Wow.
He's got so many skills, that were taught to him young. And as he's grown up, he's just developed those skills more and more and more.
Yes.
And it's made him a real powerhouse. And I think other people with disabilities can do the same thing and can be the same thing for other people who own businesses. Don't look at the disability, look at the skill set. That's the most important thing.
Definitely. And I think that it takes exposure to also understand what is rather than what is not. Because we have been for a long time brainwashed. Some of the media content are always, portraying people with disabilities as people who can do much in the past. But this is starting to change a little bit, and there is so much improvement so far as I know. Like, we have screen readers, we have different tools, we have different, technology that also can help and have been tremendous in a lot of things that are changing nowadays. So definitely I want to encourage people, like you said, Sonia, don't see a person for the disability. See the person for the potential. Talk to the person. Ask questions. Sometimes we like to assume, I would say. Let's not do that always. Be curious, talk to people. But really, Sonia, how can people, approach people with disabilities? Because I see also, and I'm hearing a lot of people being very careful. And so with that carefulness, we kind of separate the human person from something else. But what was your own experience in, embracing the community of
Just,
people with disabilities?
just treat people with disabilities like anyone else. I mean, that's what true equity is, and inclusion. When Brandon was little, we had birthday parties for him that had over 40 people in attendance, and we had lots of games and fun things, and Brandon did it all. Blind or not blind. It's like, it's you include someone, it means that they're a part of the whole thing.
Yeah.
That you don't hold back and baby them or treat them any differently. You talk to them like a human. It's like they're just like anyone else. They may have a disability, but as long as they have their tools to be able to work around their disability, then there's nothing to hold them back.
I love it. I love it. One thing also that I would like to mention is, Sonia, you also have another son, and he doesn't have a disability. How did your approach with Brendan impacted this son who has no disability?
Well, when Brandon was growing up, the most important thing was that there were no games, online games that were accessible to him. So he always wanted to force his little brother to be his eyes to play those games. When he found audio games, it was a game changer for him. But Josh didn't always want to be the eyes, you know? So he would fight against it and it would make Brandon really angry. So we had to have lots of conversations about it's okay if people say no, you know? We can find a different way for you to do this, you know? So, yeah, it was getting Brandon to accept the fact that he doesn't have to have someone always there to help him do stuff, that
Yeah,
he can do it on his own,
I
that
love
he
it.
can make his own choices,
Yeah,
that Josh was an individual and he needed to make his own choices too,
yeah, yeah.
and we needed to respect that.
Definitely. I love that. So, really, what you are telling me right now is inclusion matter whether you have a disability or not. Some people want to be independent, not relying on others. Some might like a little bit of push, but really, creating a balance for everyone is what is important. And I see sometimes organization also pushing for people within the organization who have a disability to disclose or to advocate. But not everyone wants to be an advocate. Some people want just to do the job and move forward. So I like what you just shared about the fact that it's okay whether someone say yes or someone say no. You can always find voices out there, or other people who can still support, or maybe just a different solution. Sonia, we are getting at the end of this session, but is there something else that you feel will be important for leaders, for people in the professional spaces, to hear when it comes to inclusion and accessibility in general and in business?
Give people with disabilities a chance because you'll be surprised how much that they can really benefit your company. You know,
Definitely.
um, they're problem solvers. They're natural problem solvers. They've had to be that way all their lives. And what do we have to do when we have a business? We have to solve problems. That's what we do. Critical thinking is important. And people with disabilities have to use critical thinking just for their day to day lives. And that to me is the most important skill, learning how to problem solve and to be a critical thinker so that we who are business owners can be successful and these people can be the wind beneath our wings, you know to help us to look outside the box and to think creatively and to fly.
Definitely, definitely. I love that because, again, whenever we're talking about business striving, right, we are talking about getting ahead of the competition. And people with disabilities always have a different perspectives or
Mhm.
different views on how even to enhance, empower a business. So, like you said, giving them a chance. Like if someone with a disability get employed and say, hey, by the way, I'm not feeling supported because this part of the business is lacking something. Don't take it like, oh, here you go. He doesn't know how to do his job. He's not going to be helping. He's going to be limiting or delaying the project. No, take it as, oh my goodness, if he's not able to do that, how many people might not be able to do that? Maybe this is a
Exactly.
door of opportunities, and you will be surprised that your business will get ahead of the game. Sonia, I want to say
Absolutely.
thank you for coming and joining me. Where can people connect with you in case if they have any question or if they want, to learn more?
Well, my website is www.sbesinc.com. And my email is sonja.biggs, and it's SONJA.biggs at sbesinc.com.
Fantastic. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. I see another comment from Daniel. Daniel said, awesome. Thank you so much, Daniel. Again, if you still want to put some comment, feel free to do that. We can go back to the event and respond to all comments. I hope you guys enjoyed this conversation because Sonia, I have enjoyed every little bit of everything you've shared. Thank you so much for joining me, and goodbye, everyone.
Thank you, Flora, for inviting me.